There's a hidden tax you might be paying every single time you shop online, and it's calculated using your personal data. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this practice that is, believe it or not, quietly changing the entire game of online shopping. Have you ever been shopping online, maybe looking for a flight or a new phone, and you get that weird feeling in your gut that the price you're seeing was calculated just for you, right there in that moment? Well, guess what? You're not crazy. That feeling is spot on. It actually has a name: surveillance pricing. I mean, think about it. When you walk into a real store, everyone sees the exact same price tag on an item. But online, that's not a guarantee anymore. The price you see isn't some fixed number. It's a number generated by an algorithm that has chewed through your personal data to figure out the absolute maximum it thinks you're willing to shell out. Now, you might be thinking, hang on, isn't this just like surge pricing for an Uber? And that's a fair question. But no, it's not quite the same thing. See, dynamic pricing, like with Uber, that responds to the market. When it starts raining and prices go up for everyone. Surveillance pricing is way more personal. It prices you, the individual, which means you and your friend could be looking at the very same product at the very same time and see two totally different prices. So how in the world are companies pulling this off? How are they creating a price tag with your name on it? Well, it all comes down to the data they're constantly collecting about you. Let's dig into how they build your personal price profile. The sheer range of data points they track is kinda mind-boggling. Your location, for example, can tell them if you live in a wealthy zip code. They even watch your behavior, like how long your mouse hovers over the buy button, and they read that as a sign of how badly you want something. Heck, they even look at the type of device you're using and make assumptions about your income. They're basically building a digital voodoo doll of your financial life to find that sweet spot, the highest price you'll accept without walking away. And here's a classic real-world example of this in action: the so-called Apple tax. A few years back, some major travel and retail sites actually got caught charging Mac users more than PC users for the same things. Their logic? Well, if you can afford a Mac, you can probably afford to pay a little bit more for that hotel room. It's as simple and as cynical as that. Look, paying a few extra bucks is annoying for sure, but the real danger of surveillance pricing goes way deeper. It can fundamentally warp our whole idea of a fair market and even make existing social inequalities even worse. So why is this such a big deal? Well, it strikes at the heart of how a healthy market is supposed to work: price transparency. We all need to be able to compare prices to make good decisions. But if every single person is being shown a different price, the very concept of a market price just evaporates. It's gone. You can't shop around for the best deal if the deal is constantly shape-shifting based on who you are. There's a great quote that just nails this perfectly. When two neighbors look at the same product and see two different prices, the market price ceases to exist. That's it right there. When the price is no longer a shared reality, all the power shifts to the seller. They know exactly how much you're willing to pay, but you have no idea what a fair price even looks like anymore. And this is where the dangers get even more serious. This practice can lead to something called digital redlining. So if an algorithm figures out that people in a specific zip code, one that might correlate with a certain income level, are less likely to compare prices, it can just start systematically charging everyone in that community more. Suddenly, your zip code is costing you money every day, and you'd never even know it. And maybe the most chilling part of all this is that algorithms can be used to literally price your desperation. Just imagine this. Your search history shows you're a new parent, and you're frantically looking up remedies for your sick baby. A company could use that data to slap a huge premium on overnight shipping for medicine, exploiting your vulnerability at a moment when you just need help. Okay, I know this all sounds pretty dystopian, but here's the good news. You are not helpless. There are some really simple, practical steps you can take to fight back and shield yourself from this kind of price manipulation. Think of this as your basic digital hygiene routine. Before you make a big purchase, like a plane ticket, open an incognito or private browsing window. Clear your cookies. This makes you look like a brand new customer to the website's algorithm. Using a VPN can hide your location, which can also make a difference. And always, always check the price on your phone and your laptop. I've started doing this, and you would be amazed how often you see a different price. And here's a clever little trick you can use to turn the tables on them. It's the abandoned cart tactic. Just put an item in your shopping cart, go all the way to the checkout page, and then close the window. The algorithm often sees this as a hesitant buyer, and a lot of the time, within a day or two, you'll get an email with a discount code to try and lure you back. It works. And your power doesn't just stop at your own browser. By taking some small civic actions, we can all push for a more transparent online world. You know that do not sell my personal information link you see on websites? Use it. You can also support laws that demand companies be upfront about this stuff and report really unfair practices to regulators like the FTC. And that brings us to the bigger fight for fairness. Because this isn't just some sneaky corporate tactic happening in the shadows anymore. Regulators are starting to wake up, and the rules of the game are actually starting to change. This battle is happening right now, and it's going to shape how we all shop online for years to come. Just this year, the FTC launched a major investigation into this very practice. States like New York are already putting laws on the books that will force companies to tell you when they're hitting you with a personalized price. This is a really important evolving front line in the fight for our rights as consumers. So the next time you see a price online, just take a second and remember, that might not be the price everyone else sees. It might be a price calculated just for you, based on an invisible digital profile built from your data. We talk about privacy like it's this abstract thing, but this makes the cost really concrete. It's not just about ads anymore. It's about real money coming out of your pocket. Which leaves us with a really critical question. When your data is setting the price, what is the true cost of your privacy?